the video of chapter number 1, Solid State Standard 12th Chemistry. In the last video, we have studied insulators, semiconductors and conductors with the help of band theory. In this video, we are going to study semiconductors in detail. So let's begin. Now there are two types of semiconductors. Those are intrinsic semiconductors and extrinsic semiconductors. Intrinsic semiconductors are semiconductors when a pure substance which shows low conductivity. Now if you are taking a pure substances, for example silicon and germanium, these act as a semiconductor, and even in the pure form they act as a semiconductor, but they show low conductivity. In extrinsic semiconductors are the semiconductors. These are doped to these semiconductors and show higher conductivity. As I have told you that silicon and germanium in the pure form they show low conductivity. But if we dope any impurity in that, they will show higher conductivity. And these type of semiconductors are called as an extrinsic semiconductors. Now, what is a doping? Doping is a process by adding a minute quantity of impurities to a semiconductor to increase its conductivity. And whichever material we are doping into it, that is called as an dopant. Now, these extrinsic semiconductors, they are classified into two, that is p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor. Let us see n-type of semiconductor. Now these n-type semiconductors are obtained by adding group 15 element to the intrinsic semiconductor which belongs to group 14. Now semiconductors of group 14, that is silicon and germanium, these belongs to group 14, and when we dope the impurity from group 15, the semiconductor obtained is a n-type of semiconductor. As silicon, it is having 4 valence electron. Since group 14 elements, they are having 4 valence electron in its outermost shell. Whereas group 15 elements, they are having 5 valence electron in its outermost shell. So phosphorus, if we dope an impurity of phosphorus, that is the 5 valence electron to the silicon atom, that is to the 4 valence electron. Now when we are doping this 5 valence electron, 1 electron is extra in that, and that is a free, and that free electron is localized. As we could see in this diagrammatic representation, the silicon is being replaced by phosphorus, and when silicon is replaced by phosphorus, silicon is having 4 valence electron, but whereas phosphorus is having 5. So there is one extra mobile electron which is being shown in the diagrammatic representation, and this mobile electron is delocalized, and further it is conducting the electricity in the solid, we can say, and hence it can act as a semiconductor, which is an extrinsic semiconductor. Now what is a p-type of semiconductor? Now this is a semiconductor which is produced by doping group 13 element to group 14. Now as we know that silicon and germanium are group 14 elements, and when we dope the impurity of group 13 element, now group 14 element they are having valency 4, group 13 element they are having valency 3. So when we dope 3 valence electron to the 4, one electron will be empty, that is one hole is created over there, and due to that hole there is a electrical conductivity. For example, boron, as it is shown in this diagrammatic representation, in boron, whenever the boron is being doped in the silicon network, that is, this is a silicon network. Why this network is created? Because of the covalent bond. When the silicon atoms are bonded together with the covalent bond, and hence it creates a network. And to this network, whenever the boron is being doped, here 3 electron of the boron is occupying, but one hole is created, and due to that hole there is a electrical conductivity. Now what are the magnetic properties of the solids? Magnetic properties of solid can be understood by studying the spinning motion of the electrons. The electrons, whenever they spin at the axis, that produces the magnetic field. Now this spinning of the electron, it is due to the it is like a tiny magnets. Orbital containing only one electron exhibit the magnetism due to the unbalanced spin, whereas a paired electron, the spin is balanced and no magnetic property is observed. Hence, on the basis of the spinning of electron, we can classify the solids as diamagnetic solid, paramagnetic solid and ferromagnetic solid. Diamagnetic solids are the solids with all electrons paired are weakly repelled by the external magnetic field. That is, they don't even if the external magnetic field is applied, there is no effect on it. For example, N2, that is N2, F2, NaCl and H2O. Now what are paramagnetic solid? The substances with unpaired electron are weakly attracted by the external magnetic field. These are these are paramagnetic compounds. For example, copper, ferric, that is iron. Then we have chromium. All these are paramagnetic compound. They have one unpaired electron in it. Now, what is a ferromagnetic solid? Now, these substances are in the large number, contain unpaired electron, and they are strongly attracted by the external magnetic field. Now, they can be permanently magnetized and retain their magnetism even after the removal of external magnetic field. For example, iron, nickel, CrO2, that is a chromium oxide. Now we can represent diagrammatically the paramagnetic, ferromagnetic and diamagnetic compounds with this. Thank you for listening patiently. So here we have completed the chapter, that is solid state.